Hey everybody, welcome to O3 Drop. I am Smithel, aka Chris, here with my good buddy Brice. Brice, say hello.
Hello.
So, you
just
may
said
notice
say
there,
hello. You didn't give me any other
well,
instructions,
I
so that's
know,
what you
I
get.
know. Look, I'm new to this, Brice, but you may notice we are one down today. Craig, aka Poopy, is not with us. He is kind of taking a little bit of time off. He said he will come back, but he has started a new job, moving, doing all kinds of stuff right now, and just does not have the energy to kind of dive into the content creation as he once would. He said it's just easier to kind of step away temporarily while all this sorts out, as opposed to canceling and delaying things and things like that. So certainly when that all pans out for him, he will be back to his normal manic self, I'm sure. But anyway, Brice, it's been a little bit. How you been? What you been working on here?
Entirely too much that's not fab related and not enough that is fab related. I did put together a Fang list that won that Battle Harden not that long ago.
Nice.
And so that's what I'm going to be practicing on. There's not any chance Aurora goes, is there? There's no way she has that many points yet.
No, not at London. No. I don't think. I mean,
okay.
It would be nice. I mean, but as of time of recording, that is still going on. So we do not know who won. But if you're watching this post London, we 100% predicted who was going to win. We knew it the whole time.
Yeah, we knew it. We knew it, and we knew it was Charles. But no, I just I'm thinking ahead, trying to decide what I want to throw down for a ProQuest season, and it's one of those things where like it's been like a rough couple months for me also, just busy life stuff, not like bad, not like drama or loss or anything like that, just like work and all this other crap. So I haven't had a lot of time to focus on fab, but I think like I kind of miss being able to like lock in on something. So I think between now and ProQuest, I'm gonna like how about we just be accountability buddies and just like make sure we get at least like 6 or 7 games of Talishar in a week, just force ourselves to play. That's kind of what I like need to do. You know what I mean? I just need to lock the fuck in, as the kids say.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I mean, the past couple events between skirmishes and Road to Nationals, I have, not had the time to play or prep as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And
you also have way more family obligations.
It is every night is softball or soccer or a tournament or things like that. My wife's there now, so it's kind of nuts. But yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards, a warrior of some sort. I actually, and this is a whole nother topic we could maybe talk about at a different time, but the price of the game is getting difficult for somebody like me to keep up with every class and every card and every set, that I actually sold out of a lot of the classes that I said, look, I just don't enjoy playing these classes as much. And I narrowed my collection down a little bit to just like things like warrior, assassin, ranger, guardian, mech.
I'm thinking of it's funny because you run into that situation. Like I don't sell I don't sell generic M's anymore.
Oh no.
Because like Lord knows which of those random things are going to be just like like call to the grave, like absolutely skyrocketing. It's probably the most recent example I can think of, but like never get rid of those generics. Some of my class based like majestics and legendaries and marvels and stuff, I'm probably going to get rid of my ninja stuff. I know, like I tried this meta to be like, I'm just going to play ninja. I'm just going to do like the whole best deck and format thing. And I just despised it. I don't like playing ninja. I don't know.
If a class doesn't resonate with you, it just doesn't. I mean, I'm in a similar boat with you where I'm holding all the generics. I'm also holding all the talents just because you never know, like, will I get an ice warrior? Will I get, an earth warrior? And I'm like, okay, I want to have
an
those
ice
cards
warrior
just
would be
in case.
Bonkers, my dude.
Oh,
that would be
so much fun.
I can't even imagine.
You give me ice story and I'm happy. But
anyway, we're like 5 minutes of sidetracked in already, and we have so much to talk about from this weekend.
I mean, look, if we're only 5 minutes in sidetrack, that's amazing. So there's a lot going on. Before we start talking about London, for those that know us and know where we're from, the Pittsburgh area did just announce that I would like to say, Green Tree Sports Cards, not me and Brice,
we don't have anything to do with this.
announced on the first weekend of November, November 1st and 2nd of this year. In Pittsburgh, we will be holding a 10K CC event over those 2 days. So if you are looking to potentially find a way to fund your trip to Worlds, we'll say, which is also in the state, and we'll get to that in a little bit, it's a good opportunity. So highly recommend anybody that can make it out, come out for it. It's a great time. There's a lot of stuff that is being worked on that we are not at liberty to say or talk about yet. But the second we can and we're able to make these announcements, certainly we will get to you. So stay posted on that. But
even our latest graphic we've seen just has more info to come on the bottom. You know what I mean? Right now we know everybody else, November 1st and 2nd, then we'll see what plays out.
Certainly. So, I mean, yeah, the other big city and big things going on right now is obviously Pro Tour or I guess part of the World Tour now. That World Tour, I always don't know, like, what do I call it? World Tour, Pro Tour, but World Tour London, I guess, is the official name of what is going on. It is the Pro Tour happening as we speak. It is one of those things that by the time this comes out, we will probably know who won it, what won it, did anybody LL, any of that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of exciting and kind of crazy games that we've already seen. As Brice alluded to, Charles is currently undefeated after day one, which is awesome. Old Pittsburgh native kind of.
That's who we're rooting for, I think.
Yeah. Anytime Charles wins or does good, even though he's no longer in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh scene goes nuts. So it's always cool to see.
Because he's a good dude and was a good member of the community when he was here. So it's always good to see him.
Very, very much very much so. But one of the things that they kind of started to talk about, and we're going to kind of run through the keynote very, very quickly. If you get a chance and you haven't already, strongly recommend watching it. James White did an amazing job putting it on. Lots of cool announcements. It'll be a lot more exciting to watch it there than what we say.
Little corny with some of the pirate accents, but his heart was in the right place. He was trying.
Yeah, I mean,
some walking the plank puns were fired off here and there.
But I don't know if you can do a pirate theme without being corny. So it is one of those things. But so the first big thing that they kind of talked about here, which I thought was interesting, was they are having a double calling weekend in Auckland in August. To my knowledge, this is the first double calling that I could recall of. But the big thing,
I don't think they've ever had two callings in a single weekend at the same place. Yeah, pretty sure.
The big thing about it that I thought was neat was, so the calling A, or the first calling, it is Welcome to Wrath, or Wraith. So it is going back to kind of the OG set. But the coolest thing is if you make day 2, all day 2 draft pods draft Alpha Wraith. And they said this is the last time you will have an opportunity to do something like that.
Wow.
Until the 10-year anniversary.
So you think they got a couple boxes stored up for the 10-year?
Oh my god, yeah. And he went into pretty good detail about, like, hey, this is kind of going to be what to expect from us. Is, we're going to put it out, but then bring these kind of things back for major events or major happenings. So it is nice and kind of cool to see. This is the last chance to see people crack Alpha until I think it's something like 2029. We got some time. So,
I mean, you can send us money and we'll buy a box on eBay and crack it on stream. But it's not the last chance.
Yeah, or just send us to Australia. We'll go to Auckland. It's okay.
Yeah, that'd be a fun trip.
But yeah, so I mean that's kind of a neat thing. The other big world tour I think that both Brice and I are pretty excited about is, they talked a little bit more about Singapore, which we already knew. But it is nice that they're doing the anime filler beach episode.
This is
Singapore.
I missed this. Of all the things, I missed this, but this might actually be my favorite little gimmick. It's literally the beach fan service episodes. Alt arts was the word I was looking for there. Hilarious. Very funny. The hero choices are interesting, but
yeah, I mean, I get Kasai, Golden Sands, okay, kind of fun. Sands,
yeah.
Syndra new, it's the new hotness, kind of out of Hunted. Victor, I thought was just hilarious.
Victor,
with the little inflatable golden horse kind of thing. It is.
If they didn't do such a good job, on that art, I would have been like, Victor's a weird choice for that. I would have been like Bravo seems more of like the beach bum than Victor does. You know what I mean? But like, it ended up not mattering because, man, the little inflatable horse, dude, it's
great. It's great. So I mean, the second I saw this, I already started to put out asks and feelers of people saying, if you're there and you get another Kasai, please send my way, because I really, really want it.
I have all the other Kasais, and now I guess I need to get one of those ones too. So you're fine, whatever.
Yeah, I said anything that wasn't a warrior, I'd probably been like, okay, that's fun, but passed on. But just like the anime Dory that came out in Japan, and I was like, oh, I need to get it. So it's happening, but. Yeah, those are really, really cool. I like that. I know that they've officially went on sale at this point, so I'm sure some people have already kind of scooped up those to get their hands on it. But
I wonder how many people are like sponsoring somebody's trip to get the. You know what I mean?
I'm not officially doing it yet, but I am open. Please contact me if you are potentially looking to do that.
Worth it. Yeah. I've never done. That doing it in quotes makes me sound like I think it's dumb or something. I don't. It's actually pretty legit. You know what I mean? Like if you
you just got to be smart about it. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Like I've seen people do it, and like there's some people that do services. Like, look, if you sponsor somebody, send me, like, you have a middleman that both agree upon, and it's like you send them the money, they send them the product, and then at that point they ship it and take like a small fee or something like that.
I don't think that breaks any like LSS rules. I can't fathom it does. It's between two individuals, so it's kind of.
You're just saying, I want the promos. You want to go to the event and play. I think a lot of people do it. It's
for pennies a day. You too can sponsor a World Tour Singapore player, and we'll send you these beautiful alt art marvels for your reward.
Arms of an angel, like or whatever
exactly.
that.
It's the third time I've had to bust out that joke this week, and I hate it. We gotta stop.
So I mean that's super cool. Also, I don't think it's on the slides that we're going through, but they also talked about Worlds. Worlds is in Philadelphia this year.
Yes,
awesome for everybody in the East Coast.
We're going to be there.
We've already booked. There are rooms and things like that talking about. We have an idea of where we're guessing it's going to be, just because we're kind of familiar with the area in the state. But we all have like it's a $0 cancellation policy. The second they officially announce it, we're all backing out if it's not there.
Yeah, if they don't say it's where we think it's going to be, then my hotel reservation becomes a moot point.
Yes, exactly.
If it is where I think it's going to be, I am very excited to stay there.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my location. But I will say it is one of those things that if anybody is there, we will definitely be there. Come say hi. We'll get some games in. I guarantee you that I probably will not qualify for Worlds, so I will be in the side tables just having fun doing all kinds of good stuff.
Guarantee you I'm not actually going to be, they're going to have side events. I'm sure there's going to be a calling too and stuff like that. So
I will say if there was a time for me to think about buying a PTI just to play it would be this, because chance, like you said, family and that, it's hard for me to kind of fly all over to get to Worlds, and I'm like, there'll probably never be another one this close again to me in any recent time frame. So that's still on the table. But anyway, products, as you said, they kind of went through some Armory decks, two of which we knew about. We knew about the Max Nitro deck coming out next week as of time recording, April 17th, actually my birthday. So birthday gifts, everybody just send me a Max Nitro deck and we'll be okay. Gravy Bones was talked about a little bit. The kind of cool thing that, I think we mentioned a little bit before that I love what they're doing with these Armory decks now, starting with Gravy Bones, is they're putting a little CC icon in the bottom corner. Yes. So it lets you know, strip these cards out, you got a Blitz deck. I was never a big fan of the Blitz precons after probably 3 months of playing the games. Like, I was like, oh, they're good to getting into it, but they never felt great. I was kind of wanting to build my own thing. But the Armory decks have been pretty great.
Some of those early sets had really bad
they were rough.
Decks.
Yeah, the Bolton one was rough.
The Monarch ones are, it's fine though. These are great.
But yeah, so like this is cool. Just like, hey, buy it off the shelf if you're getting into it. You buy it off the shelf at your game store. You show up for an armory night. If they sit there and say it's CC, you got a deck. If they say it's Blitz, you got a deck. You don't have to think too much about what to build or what to change.
Yeah.
Just starting out. So I think that's cool.
Like we've said all of this about the armory decks before, and like how great of a product they are, and like these ones are starting to look better because I think the power curve is going up a little bit. Maybe not like super crazy, but it's one of those things like you have to make it. You got to find the sweet spot of like it's a strong enough deck to stand on its own, but also we want to get people in to start buying more and filling the deck out, and that's great. I still just don't like having all of these like unique cards in them.
Yeah, I don't mind
to buy one just to get one of the.
I don't mind the unique cards if you get like, let's say, a playset of it. You know what I mean? Like I think they did a playset of the Bolton where it's like you got the 3 of the card and one of them is rainbow foil. I don't mind that as much. I don't mind it if it's you get good equipment in it. But if it's like, hey, the unique equipment's there's only one good thing in it, and the rest of the deck is commons, rares, things like that you can get elsewhere.
Be wasteful and go to your trash and like.
Yeah, it feels bad buying a whole deck for just one card, especially when that one card, in the case of like Sash, could at the time be as much as the deck.
Civic Steps and the other ones, and that's happened a bunch.
Yeah, so I mean, and I know they can't control that. The secondary market's going to do what the secondary market wants to do, so to speak. But I agree. I think they're getting better. I think every iteration of these these armory decks that come out, I feel like are getting more and more tuned in. So I do have hopes for where they're going to go in the future. I like that a lot. But the Gravy Bones one coming out, with a new set, obviously. Does have the unique card. They did also confirm that little circle symbol was indeed tap, which everybody was kind of on board of like this is what it is. But the question became, when do you untap? And they did confirm it's at the end step. So
that I actually didn't catch that confirmation, but I did kind of realize it when we'll get to it at the end. The new Bravo. The action as written on the hero, it's like it's similar, but with face down cards, whatever. The fact that like that was shown as that tap ability, that's sort of like, yeah, man, this is just the new once per turn ability.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's just how they make things a once per turn ability now.
Yep.
And maybe that also says that like there's going to be ways to pull that off twice in a turn.
Yeah, will there be ways like to untap? Will there be?
Yeah. I'd assume for most cases on a hero, like maybe not.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't get into like the Magic Gathering, like tap on tap, tap on tap, tap on tap. Like, you know what I mean? For everything a million times. Yeah. Maybe there will be a hero that utilizes it more, but I'm going to go into it with an open mind. I think we all like Flesh and Blood for what it is and not a Magic clone or anything like that. So I'm hoping it doesn't fall into like, well, people are used to this, let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about like an impact in the game. I was just more like, okay, once I saw that card, it's like, okay, this is a bit obvious now that this is just the new mechanism for once per turn actions.
Yep.
Started to like make more sense.
Yeah. Also announced an Ira deck coming in July. Their whole purpose was basically saying, hey, Ira's was the initial welcome deck, then got a player in Blitz, now you got her in CC. So it's kind of moving the new player progression through it, where it's like you always kind of had a pre-con or something that you could do with Ira. Pretty cool. Excited to hear more about it.
That's it. I didn't really look at it that way, but that's kind of a good point. It's like the Ira decks have always just been like a sealed product. Like the first welcome deck, the Blitz deck, this one, that's kind of funny.
Even she came out in the CC was like the whole anniversary or the big thing. It's like Ira seems to mark moments in time, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
The other decks, like the pre-con decks that they talked about, now these are ones that are a little more interesting to me. So they announced a Viserai and a Prism LL pre-con deck.
Living legend.
But what makes it interesting, these are going to be convention exclusives. You cannot get them at your LGSs. So they are going to be very hard to get, potentially very sought after, depending upon what's in them. One thing that they did announce is that each deck is going to have a new card. It's going to be exclusive to these decks, which is Helm of the Arcanite and Halo of Lumina Light.
Oh, but you can get those in Gem Packs.
The Gem Pack 3.
Yeah.
So, the only difference is the Gem Pack ones are... Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. The Gem Pack ones...
That's great.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, Gem Pack ones, they said, are going to be rainbow foil. The Precon deck ones are cold foil. So there's a little bit of a difference and, like, a little bit of, like, hey, if you go to these Gen Con event kind of things...
You're so incentivized to
get
them there. Yeah,
certainly. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm not an LL player. If they start doing more things like this, where you're giving me a Precon deck and I could maybe just be competitive enough, we'll say, at an armory, maybe I buy into one. Especially if it's hey, Dory goes and I don't get to play her much, and there's a cool new exclusive or something like that, maybe sure.
See, this is a little strange to me, because I've always thought the idea of like taking and to be fair, this is something that would require a little bit of planning ahead of time and a little bit of foresight. But when they were like, okay, we have LL format decks now, I'm like, that's cool, because like, when you look at the precons as like an entry, a more like entry player kind of product, yeah, man, that makes a ton of sense to make them of heroes that are from like out of print sets. People new coming to the game aren't probably going to have a big stockpile of Monarch cards, right? But then, like, why not do those for CC? Like, that's such a good idea. I like I said, I love that idea of like, let's take old set heroes and give them precons, but like, apply that same logic to CC.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and I mean, I'm hoping that they get there. I mean, you kind of saw it a little bit with, like the Azalea deck. Here's the old, or the Bolton deck. Like, these heroes weren't exactly new.
Yeah,
but we still got a memory deck for it.
Right, exactly. Like, I want to see more of that. Like, I like the idea of I like the idea of continuing the new product lines where you get the hero from the new set coming up. But like, I think those things are going to be better suited for like older heroes.
I agree. I mean, look, you give me a Reinhardt deck with 3 swing bigs in it. That's awesome.
That's sick.
Let people have a way to get that. Other products that they kind of talked about a little bit here is obviously the next one, the Mastery Pack, which James White.
Yes.
He did joke about this being like, this is the 4th keynote where we've talked about it, but I swear to God, we're almost here. But like,
I cannot wait for that.
This seems pretty interesting to me, and for multiple reasons. So the first is, obviously, it is a smaller box. We're only talking 12 packs per display, so it's kind of like a half box, priced at about $50-$60 per display. Crack Shuffle Play. Interesting, if I understood the keynote right, and I may have to go back and re-listen, only Valda is a hero in this. Only Valda. So it's Valda mirror matches if you play it. It's Crack Shuffle Play, though. Yeah. So, and James White said he did make the point of saying, like, he enjoyed the Valda, like, when they were testing the Valda mirrors, but he did say he understands not everybody's going to love that. And he said
you said Valdemir.
Yes, the Valda
mirrors.
The Valda mirrors. But he did say that the next Mastery set, he didn't give any details about what it was or anything like that, but he did say it will have 3 heroes in it. So that way, as they're toning these out and figuring out like how do they fit and like ironing out the details, see what works kind of better. So,
but Valda's not the only hero you can play with these packs, though.
No, and we're getting there because that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
We're getting there because I want to talk about that too. But so what else is in there? There's some cool marvels, and like I know Brice, I know you're a fan of like these pretty art cards.
I'm going to go broke trying to collect one of each of these Seismic Surge marbles. That is very, very cool.
Yeah, I know you love like the fancy art cards and the marvels and things like that. The Seismic Surges, they are great. I love the Marvel like the old ones. Like, so in the keynote, James is talking saying like, hey, this is like a callback to like the ancient times of Wraith. And it's like, so let's look at the old ones and see them. It's like the smelting of the old one, the binding of the old one, the disenchantment of the old ones. And it's like, here's the Volcor one, the Solana one.
So good.
The Aria one.
The cards themselves are like so good, though.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. The cards are amazing.
6 for 10. When this deals 4 or more damage to... it's only to a Guardian hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, they're awesome cards. Like,
they're still 6 for 10s.
And if Guardian becomes huge ever, these are just auto includes into it.
Yeah.
But it is just like what is it? I mean, 10-foot tall and bulletproof is like a 10 attack. Sure to get the 10 block, but this one doesn't hurt your intellect. And I mean, it has heave in it too, which is great. But yes, I mean, it would be kind of cool to kind of pull those. But anyway, so let's talk about what else you can use the cards for. And this is what you're talking about. Smash Palace.
Smash Palace. We finally know.
So what are your thoughts on Smash Palace, Brice?
I love it. At first, when I first saw the product, I was like, okay, so this is a thing that you buy, and it comes with what, like 12 packs, or I think it comes with enough packs to play a 4-player game.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and it gives you all these heroes, and you get all the packs in there, and then you play a single UPF game, and then what? And then I realized that the packs they're talking about are the Guardian Mastery packs. So you buy that Smash Palace box once, and you get that event deck. You get all the heroes you need. Mm-hmm. And I believe they said there's like armor sets for the heroes too. Like each hero has like token armor.
I'm sure
you buy that once, you have all the stuff you need, and then you can just get a box of Guardian Mastery and just use those for Crack Shuffle play. It's interesting, and I see why they did it. But splitting it out like that is very cool, because if you don't care about UPF, you can just go buy your standalone Guardian Mastery box. It looks like there's a ton of cool new stuff in there for Guardians. And then if you like UPF, you just buy this box one time. And I think, like, I'm hoping that they kind of continue to do that. You know what I mean? Like, if every Mastery set is going to get a new Smash Palace with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be opposed to if every set, they didn't necessarily release a Smash Palace, like a whole big box.
I don't think for every mainline set. I think for every Mastery set.
But see, like, even if on a mainline set, imagine if a box topper was, you got like 3 new cards for an event deck. You know, where it's just like, hey, we can add a new event. So if you love UPF, or like, hey, a box topper is... And they announced a new type of hero, and it is basically called Pit Fighter, which is a new hero, but they're only playable in UPF. Give me a box topper with like a Pit Fighter hero. Like, just keep adding this slowly so somebody can buy the Mastery set or the Smash Palace set, but then not have to be like, well, I gotta wait, and what am I gonna do when all these Guardian Master sets like are gonna be hard to find? You know, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
You can keep adding and keeping the fun going, so to speak.
Any mainline set that supports Crack Shuffle play, which isn't all of them, right? You know what I mean? Like Bright Lights did, right? Because it's all mech. Like, it's like, you know what I mean?
Stuff I think like that's the only one so far,
Yeah, like if you're going to do, and I don't know, looking back at it, if that was maybe like an experiment for LSS to be like, can we... This is my like tinfoil hat that like Bright Lights was a test for that, to see can we have a mainline set, a draftable set, but also kind of turn it into like a UPF friendly thing, because it's all mechs. You can do the Crack Shuffle play with it, and I don't think that set did so hot. And then they said like, but people like Crack Shuffle play. That seems like a good idea. Like, let's just spin it off into a different product and see if it gets more leverage. And I think it will with this. Like,
I think this.
I actually want to do this, and I don't like UPF.
Yeah, I think this product is great for new players, or for like my brother-in-laws come over like once a month, once every other month or something. We just do a game night. This is something I probably couldn't pitch everybody to do a UPF game, but I could pull something like this out and be like, here's the basic rules. Here's an event deck. It's your turn. Flip it over. What do you do? Oh, something crazy happens. Like. And turn it into more of a board game that then we can just get expansions for. And if they really love somebody and say, hey, I'm getting the game, I like it, that's the pathway into the game. I think this is how you draw in a lot of new people.
You've just circled back to let's make a PvE mode.
I know I'm one of those people, but I do want a PvE mode.
Once again, we find ourselves PVE.
Yeah. You give me a PVE
Maybe.
mode. And here's the interesting part. Like, I don't know if a lot of people caught this. So when they were talking about, or when James White was talking about the pit fighter hero type, and he didn't say these are only for UPF. He said pit fighters are only legal in multiplayer formats such as UPF, or like primarily now UPF. So my brain starts going, what else is going on? Like, what other kind of format are we looking at? Is it the PVE that you guys are working on? Is there another UPF like format coming out?
I mean, what about, and like, asterisk, this is all speculation because everything we say is, and I'm sure I'll be desperately wrong in the long run, but like, team formats, you know what I mean? Like, there's been official team CC stuff now. Everybody seems to like it. They seem to like it from a broadcast perspective. Players like it. Like, is that considered a multiplayer format that you can use a pit fighter in?
Maybe. And now that you said that, this would be kind of cool to like to do this and be like, okay, I'm Fightmaster Nux, you're Bravo, you're this person. And they have like, now the interesting too is like they did say there's 7 heroes. On the box there's only 6. So who's number 7? You know?
Interesting.
That's really curious to me. I mean,
Victor's horse.
We see Victor. Maybe
it's just going to be his horse is the new hero. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, they talked about the new Centaur. We got the Goblin. There's 2 other that we don't know. There's new Bravo, which is going to be the new Welcome deck. And then it looks like Victor in the background. So I don't know if it's a new Victor that's specifically a pit fight hero or what, but definitely there's a Victor.
The guy that's not Victor in the back, the one with the big shoulder pad, that's like big World of Warcraft armor vibes. I feel like I've seen those like exact pauldrons, but yeah, the characters all look pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, all Guardians because this is crack shuffle play. Yeah. So I mean,
Guardian is kind of like my second favorite class. I mean, I just like swing back some old Bravo every now and then.
Yep. Like I was Jarl on Tuesday at Armory.
I'm very like aside from just looking at this and saying, yeah, I like what they're doing here. As like I mentioned earlier, as far as like, let's keep the crack shuffle play in its own kind of thing because it sometimes felt a little bad for like a mainline set. But other than that, like that's kind of why I like this. But also, give me all that Guardian stuff. There's some new, very, very awesome Guardian stuff that's coming with this set. I'm still unsure. I know I brought it up before, and maybe somebody actually answered me, but like, is there a final count on how many of the Mass 3 pack cards are going to be like new Guardian support versus reprints?
I don't know if they said how many are going to be new support versus reprints yet. We know how many cards are in the set. We know how many cards per pack, all that kind of stuff, but my guess is if this is going to be crack shuffle play, I'm hoping it's a lot of new stuff that really plays into that mechanic as opposed to just what we've seen. But again, I don't think anybody really knows at this point.
That's the next bit of news that we're waiting for.
Yeah.
They go through a couple of the heroes. Which might, we might talk about that a little closer to when it actually comes out because
we only
know 2 of them anyway. So like,
and did they say is it so it is it Gen Con, I think, when we first see it? Yeah, first early access at Gen Con, in stores August 8th. So not too terribly far off.
Very mad I'm missing Gen Con again.
I initially signed up to I applied to judge for like the Fab booth or whatever going on there, and then I realized it's over my wife's birthday, so I withdrew my application because I was like, I can't go do that. So,
no, you should have just left it in just to see if you
I could have like tried to coax her into being like, we're going on a nice trip, and then be like, I'm gonna disappear for like 8 hours today.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying leave your application on just to like, hey, if you got picked, like, nice, you got picked for an event, and then be like, okay, I can't do it though.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to sit there and potentially leave my name in if I knew I probably couldn't make it. But
that's the more responsible thing to do.
Well, I appreciate you agreeing with that. But we did also talk a little bit. Now, here's where a lot of the cool stuff kind of starts coming into.
Yes.
We went into High Seas.
The High Seas stuff. Oh, man.
High Seas was kind of spoiled. I mean, we knew what High Seas was. We knew the heroes. They kind of said, hey, look, there was a leak, but now that it's out there, let's talk about it. They put it out before. And now we really started to look at it. So they went through first, which was interesting, of saying, here's every hero. Here's the general idea. Like, Marlin wants to do gold for goldfin harpoons, killing big beasts. Puffin wants to sit there and use the gold to make golden cogs to basically power these massive airships. And then, and everybody went nuts for Polycranka. Polycranka.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Now,
best pun in the set so far, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just what I like about this, too, is instead of it being like, oh, this is a Puffin specialization card, it's a Puffin companion. So they have cards that are now hero companion. So it's only for that hero, very specific, but it doesn't say like specialization or anything like that. It's just, this is a Puffin companion card. And it's kind of neat where it kind of just plays into it. But people went nuts about that. And then Gravy Bones basically was the whole idea of like, sinking to the bottom, digging up treasure, doing all that.
Just
kind
because
of
he's evil. You're like, people went nuts for it. People actually went nuts for it.
Yeah.
They're like, the crowd was very, very alive during these reveals. People were like, yeah. People were like, let's go. And I'm excited too, man. But like, no, everyone in the crowd was so hyped during this stuff. It was very fun to watch.
And it's cool. So like, and they showed the Conqueror of the High Seas card, which like, they're like, oh, it's the biggest ship in the fleet. And like, when I was watching this initially, I was watching it just on my phone because of the time and where I was. And I was like, okay, it's a cool card. But then when you really look at it like on a computer, and it's like, oh, here's the art of it. And then it shows like all the other ships around it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a massive ship.
Yep.
Which is really, really cool.
Dreadnought.
Yep. And everybody, I guess, going to Nationals gets that in rainbow foil too, which is kind of cool. So, they talked about that, which was really, really neat. But the thing that I think everybody is most excited about for all of High Seas are these treasure packs.
Treasure packs are even crazier than I could have imagined these things being. I don't think anybody called not called the bluff. I don't think anybody called the shot of what is in these things. Yeah.
I mean, we all were like, okay, treasure packs is going to be cool. It's going to be something. But like, I think we were all thinking along like Mistveil, like, oh, maybe, in the box you're going to get the pack and it's like, hey, you're going to get a cool hero or something like that. So what the treasure packs are, for anybody that didn't catch it or anybody that's new to the game, is in each box there is a golden pack that contains 3 cards. Card 1 it's going to be like we'll say the top layer of your card sandwich is going to be a map slot card. So recent sets, they've been doing these like puzzle pieces, things like that. Yeah. So it looks like you're building a map. They only showed, I think, 2 or 3 pieces of it right now. So we don't see everything. But what's interesting, and we'll talk about it later, is what I think may be on it. But
I'm assuming a map to where the next set is going to be.
Yes. And they did say, when we talk about the amulets, he said there are 9 amulets that can be represented. He goes, 1 for each area of Wraith. And he goes, but you may be wondering, there's only 8 areas of Wraith. What's the 9th one? And he's like, to be like announced. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we're going to like put together the map and maybe see like where these guys in the high seas are going. Like where are all these pirate ships going to or coming from? And
so do you think this is an introduction to the next sort of chunk of the map? Because like they've said like that map isn't it.
Oh yeah.
Well, map's not the world. Or
when you read the lore, they say like all these I don't know if it's tribes or how they call it, but all these peoples or these cultures came to Wraith from somewhere. So like except for maybe brutes. I don't know about that, but so there's stuff around Wraith, but the question is what and how far and how much. And so I think this is kind of our first look into that, which is really, really cool. A really, really cool thing.
Or it could be another plane. Could be one for what's the demon plane called?
Oh,
there's like an actual name for it. It's on a couple cards.
The monastery or whatever you're talking about.
But the actual
the plane,
other realm where the demons come from. Like the name is established in lore. I just can't remember it. But like a different plane of existence is also an option.
Could be. Anyway, the bottom layer of our treasure pack sandwich is going to be a gold card. So what these are is, again, gold being very thematic right now. They said the most common is just going to be a normal gold token. And they said it's going to be fairly common. Most people get it. Golden cog is going to be slightly harder to get. And, it's just like a full golden cog token. And then the final one on the gold slot is basically this Gold Kiss Rum card, which is going to be a lot harder to get. So you get rarities and you kind of get excited in this slot. The middle slot, though, is the one that people went nuts for. And they say it's a treasure slot. And he said, initially he goes, okay, James White says, treasure slot, it's all cold foils. There's 14 common cold foils that you can get one of. 49 pirate booty cold foil, so a pirate card that you can get in cold foil. 4 legendaries in cold foil. And then 11 marvels in cold foils, which if you take just that, Brice, that's enough. That's pretty cool. You tell me I can get a cold foil or a marvel cold foil in these treasure slots, I think people would have been like, awesome. That's really cool. People would chase it. The part people went nuts for, absolutely bonkers, is at first he goes, there's going to be 43 lost treasures.
There's one before that, because I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about, but the amulets being part of that, which we kind of discussed, the cold foil EA gold tokens, those are sort of of the middle card. There's your very rare, and then there's your, oh my god, this is right from James White's personal collection. Rare.
Yeah, and before we get to the James
which is crazy,
even the amulets, he said there's 9 amulets. They're making 100 of each, so there's only going to be 900 cold foil amulets, and all of the boxes printed. So those are going to be just nuts expensive. But yeah, you said it. The treasure cards, there's 43, essentially one of ones almost for most cases. Signed from James White's personal collection, cold foils, and they are from,
and one's literally a cold foil heart.
Yeah, cold foil heart, and he's like, "Oh, there's only 2 cold foil hearts in existence. One was because an old employee bugged me forever, so I finally signed it." But he goes, "I refuse to sign another one." He goes, "There's never been a cold foil eye. You know what I mean? This will be the only cold foil eye in existence."
So the ones we see are Eye of Ophidia, Arknight Shard, Tunic, Heart of Findall, the amulets, and then the real crazy ones to me, one of the Prism sculptor marvels, which you only normally get with the statue.
Yep. There's one
huge.
There's one of the Bravos, which I think he says there's only 3 of those Bravo marvels in existence.
Yeah, they were dual-sided marvels that were part of an original testing the cold foil printing process. Yep. And so there's 3 Dory, 3 Bravo that are the double-sided
something like it. Yeah,
test ones that. That's pretty cool.
There's an EA twinning blade that he that showed in there, which is it. Brice, if I pulled that, I would start crying in the store.
I would vomit. I would
be bawling like a baby. So the EA twinning blade, just in general, is my chase card. That is the only card that I ever want in Flesh and Blood. And you telling me in these packs somewhere in the world there is a James White signed EA twinning blade that was his personal EA twinning blade that I can pull.
And it's crazy to me because you remember with the Mistveil ones, they felt Mistveil, not every box had a golden pack. A golden pack was something you had to do. And they talked about the drop rates of that, and it felt like such a golden ticket kind of thing. Yep. Especially when you actually got one and you're like, oh my god, this might be the marble. What if this is the marble? It's so cool. This is so many levels beyond that level of golden ticket. Despite the fact that you get one in every box, these 40-something absolute one-of-one crazy pools are out there somewhere. And that feels way more like an actual, like, I found a golden ticket kind of shit.
And he's just like talking in the video, just signing it and giving like the history like behind each card that he's pulling, saying like, this is where it came from. This is why it's important. Like, it's insane. Like, this is like no other card game I could ever think of. Have we ever seen anything like this, where the creator of the game goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm pulling out my personal binder,
putting them in some packs,
and we're throwing it in packs. Like, and the thing that's nuts about me is I don't think we've seen all of the sketch cards from Dusk to Dawn.
That surprised me, because we were talking about that like 2-3 weeks ago, and I was like, seriously? Like, I thought they were all found already.
No, I mean, like, they're out there. Like, there may be people just sitting on a case of Dusk to Dawn with a sketch card, just hanging out in their closet.
Could you imagine if you were just sitting on that with the card?
I don't know if I would be able to sit on a sealed box
knowing
of high seas. Knowing that you can be sitting on a James White signed heart.
But why? But like, for us, why would any of us ever be sitting on a box of high seas? Like, it's not alpha anymore. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, the boxes you sit on are like alpha WTR and that kind of stuff. Like, ain't nobody sitting on a box of high seas. We're cracking these things.
It's going to be nuts, because like at the beginning, there's going to be this massive wave, and we're going to probably see within the first week, or, you know, maybe during pre-release, because he said, I think it's something like 1 in every 1,000 displays will have one of these cards.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we assume there's 43 of them, we're looking at about a 43,000 display print run, essentially. You know, maybe a little more, but about 43,000. We're going to see pre-release people ripping like crazy, just doing pre-release stuff. So we're going to probably see a couple pre-release weekend, and probably some on set release weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And then some at Nats, I guarantee it. Maybe like something there. But then there's going to be this lull, probably, where people are going to start counting, going, there's only been 20. And then I think you're going to see people just start going, well, maybe I rip. Maybe I rip. Like what is in this? Or as more and more get discovered, and this becomes harder and harder to get, those sealed treasure packs are going to start spiking for collectors. Because you're going to be like, there's been how many ripped? There's no more distribution.
But I want to rip
and there's
them
5
myself.
left.
I don't want to save them for when they become valuable.
And that's what I'm saying is like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what it would be like to pull one of those.
So something I noticed looking at these, I know they mentioned, and I don't know that we talked about this yet, but the moving from token rarity to basic rarity, where token rarities are going to be like things that are produced by hero effects, like spectral shields are still tokens, seismic surges are still token. The things that you equip as a accessory to your hero, or just like things, you know, like, or
your hero,
those are basic now. Like token weapons in draft are basic
things that
now.
are like part of your deck. Yeah, like your deck registration, if you're registering it.
And I was looking at the basic. I was looking at some stuff, and I noticed that, like, if you look at the golden cog Marvel, there was another one somewhere. It's a different color circle, and there's no letter in it. I don't know if like that means anything, but I just kind of noticed that. Yeah. I mean, the cold foil of the one attack, the pirate. And I'm like scrolling around and I can't find it anymore.
No. Yeah, I'm looking at the cog right now, for example. Gosh, so now I got to zoom in on my computer. You're right. Like, so it looks like if I look at the golden cog, the base one does have just the gray circle with a B.
Yeah.
The other one just has a yellow circle.
It's just a solid yellowish circle. That's a slightly different color from the legendary. Because I noticed it if you look at the treasure slot, 1 per treasure pack on the stuff about the gold packs. The Conqueror of the High Seas is that same symbol. The rarity in the set is majestic, but like this weird promo one just has the empty yellow circle, or the one next to it has the legendary circle. So it's like, what is I don't. It's just something kind of goofy. I notice. I'm like, I don't know what a
and maybe like just for the release the image or something, they're showing it that way. But
yeah,
I mean, it's weird that they would have everything like the copyright and all that kind of stuff on it.
And the treasure pack marvels are a orange triangle instead of a purple triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. So maybe that's
okay.
Maybe
the Marvel tokens are the triangle of the same color. I think that's okay. That's probably just a new promo color or something.
Yeah, that may just be the way of like specifying like did it come from a pack, did it come from a set, what's going on there.
Yeah, because they're coming from
the treasure packs
outside of like a mainline. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't think it means anything. I just happened to notice like, oh look, there's like a different icon in there that you're used to seeing. But
yeah, I mean, it is nuts. So I am.
I'm excited about ICs, man. I'm excited.
I'm excited about how, and I keep hating myself for it because I keep going like, oh, okay, it's a set I'm not going to care about. Like I said that for probably the past 3 sets, or a set I was like, oh, I'm playing it. This class, not a big deal. And then Verdance was awesome, and I love Verdance.
Yeah.
And then the last set, I'm like, okay, Fang's pretty cool. I'll play Fang and all that kind of stuff, but I've fallen in love with more of like the heroes there, and it's like the Arachne is really cool. This, I'm like, I'm only going to really want the Necromancer, but the more I look at it, the more I go,
you're going to want to play the Ranger
too. Mech is really cool, and so is the Ranger. It's like, it's...
I feel like I'm going to get also tied up in the Ranger. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Necromancer. I don't know a soul on this planet that plays Fab that isn't excited for Necromancer.
There's going to be a lot of gravy bone mirrors on.
There's going to be a lot
of people being like, I want to play the Necromancer.
A lot of like sloppy gravy mirrors.
It was like I think we were talking to Pat one day, Pat Eschke at Armory, and he was talking about how him and Charles were having a conversation, and Charles said, when Necromancer comes out, I don't care if it's bad, I'm just going to play it because I just want to play Necromancer. Like, I don't care. It could be the worst deck in the world. I'm playing that deck.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Says the guy that could legitimately win on a deck that turns out to be bad.
He'll find a way to make it a fatigue deck and then just stomp us all. It doesn't matter. But yes, I mean they did that. The other announcement, I guess, was the skirmish season announced. They did say there's going to be 4 cerebellum processors that are going to be cold foil, which is going to be a huge hit. A lot of people are going to want those, and the winning card was not yet released or shown. So
that's what that is. Okay,
yeah. So we don't know what that is, but it is probably something from a future set, or maybe it's that we don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if it's I wonder if it's the 9th hero in Smash Palace.
Could be.
Because last skirmish it was the Ira foil, right? Like it seems like they've been heroes.
Was the last skirmish Ira? I can't remember. Like it was just like a week ago, and I can't remember. I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure it was the Ira cold foil. I wonder if that ends up being the 9th hero in Smash Palace.
If it was the Smash Palace here, I think more people are going to just want the cerebellum processors.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's like, I don't want to do UPF, but I could see it being something like that. I could see it. I
definitely wouldn't be enthused with that as a skirmish prizing. I'm just saying, like, well, they're usually heroes, and there's one hero that we don't know about. So
yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear soon. I mean, August isn't that far away, so my guess.
Oh my gosh, it really isn't.
Isn't it scary? It's like we're like
it was like
through
February
April.
Yesterday.
Yeah, like we're quarter, like a third of the way in the year.
Great,
we're there. I know it's flying, dude. But so big week.
Sorry, I just had a little mental breakdown there.
Yeah,
thinking about the progress of time, and oh my gosh, we're good. We're all good here.
I hear you, but yeah, so big week. Lots of stuff announced.
Yeah.
I am very excited to see about, what else we hear, what else comes from it. Anything else that we missed, Brice? I know we're kind of closing in on an hour, so.
Flying High is a solid card, I think. Especially for aggro decks.
There's a lot of stuff, and in a future episode, maybe we'll have to touch upon how expensive this game's getting and tough it could be for a new player, because there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, and I have very serious fears and concerns of how we're going to get more new player growth when it's as tough as it is. But
all this stuff. So okay. To be fair, though, To be fair, all of these crazy like chase cards and the treasure and all that stuff. It's what I've noticed is like all of this stuff is still accessible through gem packs, through normal packs, through like there was like my complaint with some of the armory decks, how much you have to like buy those just to get the product. The including the that was a very hard C. Including the new cards from the LL Armory decks being available in gem packs. Is that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the chase is gonna the high end chase is gonna get crazy expensive. But I think they're already taking pretty decent steps towards like not forcing a new player to go buy an armory deck just because they want that one card from, you know.
Yeah. I know that they said
that stuff I'm like, cool.
They said in a recent interview that it is something that they're concerned about and they're talking about. And I understand it takes time, but God, it is getting tough to sit there and tell a new player it's easy to get into the game when it's like, pick a hero, buckle down, and prepare for the next 6 months to build it if you really want to be competitive. I mean, it's tough because it's like, it's the easiest it's ever been to get in the game, but it's also the most difficult it's ever been to get in the game. Like, you can just buy an armory deck and be fine, but if you're like... most of us,
I think it's very, very important to like keep in mind that is also dependent on your meta. We have a very competitive meta where if somebody came in with a precon, they're going to probably get stomped. But that might not be the case for other localities. Like there might be some people who don't take it as... That is true. You know what I mean? So
what saves
it's
us
hard to say.
What saves us about our area is we are very competitive, but we are also, I think, a very generous location. Like,
new players get bulk constantly.
Well, even that, like, somebody was new last week and they were talking about wanting to play warrior, and I'm like, oh, you got any good warrior stuff? He goes, no. And he goes, I have nothing, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, who do you want to play? He goes, Dory. I'm like, I got an extra courage of blade. I'll just take it. Like, here's a good chess piece. Is it the top tier right now? No. Can you be perfectly fine with it? Yes. Like we do that. I've seen John people are like, I'm interested in Azalea. Like, I'll start buying this, and then maybe 2 weeks from now or a month. And John just like, no, I'm throwing this in your order. You're getting it for free. Just take it. Like, like we get very lucky in that regard. But
more people playing the game, the better. It all helps in the long run. That's a huge part of like,
and that's what I'm hoping Smash Palace
nice
does
around here. Yeah,
I think a lot of the competitive folks are going to play Smash Palace once, say it's fun, I had a good time with it, but then set it aside. I'm hoping Smash Palace is the entry point that we're looking for to get more of the board game players, the box game players into the game,
the commander players,
and get hooked on that gameplay mechanic of like, oh, this does feel fun. Maybe I'll try Blitz, or maybe I'll try CC.
No, and then we say no. Just start playing CC. Just
Then we sit there and get the gravy bones, and we say we put all these CCs. I agree. We were born on Blitz for far too long, and like we loved it, and then we got more CC, and now I'm like, I'm okay not doing Blitz every day, except for Blaze. I want to play Blaze. I tell everybody the day I get Blaze. Adult Blaze, everything else in my collection sells, and I exclusively play Adult Blaze.
Wait, what if Adult Blaze is the skirmish promo winner? No, I'm literally just saying things to stir people up at this point.
Don't get me too excited. If that was the announcement for Adult Blaze, I would never try more hard in my life to win something as I would that skirmish. I would be traveling everywhere.
Inconsequential wild speculation is like my favorite thing to do. You know what I mean? Like there's no harm in me saying, oh, what if it's Adult Blaze and that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just wild speculation for the sake of fun.
Thank you. All right, but we'll let it go. We're just hitting that hour. Again, if you stuck with us this far, we appreciate it. Follow us. All the links below to our socials, everything like that will be in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see you for the next ones.
Goodbye everybody.